بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف خلق الله أجمعين. Hi everybody and welcome to Mastermind Math channel. Here is a short video to explain how to factorize a second degree equation. A second degree equation stands like this: x squared x number, y squared y number, m squared m number, d squared d number, and so on. Okay, the first thing we have to care about the absolute term. If the absolute term is negative, here I gave you some examples: -2, -2, -15, -15, -18. And if the absolute term is now positive, like +2, +2, +15, +15, and +18. I took the same examples to explain my idea. Okay? Okay, the first thing is to open your brackets. Here are they. Okay. X squared, so you have to write here x and you have to write here x. Okay, you have to look at the absolute term. I said that here, all my examples here on this side, the absolute term is negative. You can see -2. Okay, when the absolute term is negative, one term is positive and the other is negative. You have to understand this point, that when the absolute term is negative, one term is positive and the other is negative. Then the big number takes the sign of the middle term. The middle term is positive, so the big number must be written on this side. Two numbers, you multiply them is 2, you subtract them is 1, 1x. 2 and 1, 2 by 1 is 2, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So you multiply is 2 and you subtract is 1, 2 and 1, and I'll write the 2 here because the big number is here and the small number is here, 2 and 1. Two numbers, you multiply them is 2, you subtract them is 1. Why did I write 2 here? Because the big number between the 2 and 1 is 2, the big number takes the sign of the middle term. Now let us go to the second one. X squared x number, y squared y number, it's the same idea, it's a second degree, so you have to open your brackets. Okay, x squared, so x here and x here. First you have to look at the absolute term. What's the sign of the absolute term? It's negative. All these examples here, the absolute term is negative. Since it's negative, that means one is positive and the other is negative. When the absolute term is negative, one is positive and the other is negative. The big number takes the sign of the middle term. Don't think about this big number right now. Think about the sign. The big number takes the sign of the middle term. The middle term is negative, so the big number is here. Two numbers, you multiply them is 2, you subtract them is 1, 2 and 1. 2 will be written now here and 1 here, because the big number takes the sign of the middle term. Let us go to number 3 here. Look at this question. Y squared y number, this is a second degree equation, so you have to open your curly brackets like this. Okay, y squared, y here and y here. You have to open your brackets. Okay, now you have to look at the absolute term. What's the sign of the absolute term? Negative. Since the absolute term is negative, that means directly one is positive and the other is negative. Remember that the big number takes the sign of the middle term. What's the sign here? The sign is negative, so the big number must be here. Two numbers, you multiply them is 15 and you subtract them is 2. 15, 1 by 15 is 15, but 15 minus 1 is not 2. 5 by 3 is 15 and 5 minus 3 is 2. So don't write 5 here, because you said the big number takes the sign of the middle term. So here is 5 and here is my 3. Let us go to number 4. Y squared y number, second degree equation, so curly brackets like this. Y here and y here. Okay, first you have to care about the absolute term. What's the sign? Negative. That means one is positive and the other is negative. Remember that the big number takes the sign of the middle term. What's the sign? The sign is positive, so the big number is here. Two numbers, you multiply them is 15, you subtract them is 2, it's 5 and 3. 5 right now it's here because it's the big number, and here is 3. Now number 5. M squared m number, d squared d number. This is a second degree equation, so you open your brackets. Here is m and here is m. Okay, what's the sign of the absolute term? It's negative. All of them here is negative. When the absolute term is negative, that means one is positive and the other is negative. The big number takes the sign of the middle term. What's the sign of the middle term? Negative, so the big number is on this side. Two numbers, you multiply them is 18, you subtract them is 7. 6 by 3 is 18. 6 minus 3 is 3. It's not 7. So 6 and 3 doesn't work. Maybe 18 and 1. 18 by 1 is 18. 18 minus 1 is 17. I need 7. It doesn't work. 9 and 2. 9 by 2 is 18. 9 minus 2 is 7. So it's 9 and 2. Okay, where is 9? The big number takes the sign of the middle term. Here is 9 and here is the 2. This is when the absolute term is negative. Now we will take the same examples, but now the absolute term here is positive. Look at them. Okay, when the absolute term is positive, like positive 2. Okay, in this case, x squared, x number, it's the same thing. So here is my brackets, okay? X squared, x, x. When the absolute term is positive, here we don't say one is positive and one is negative. When the absolute term is positive, both of them are positive or both of them are negative. Here it depends on the sign of the middle term. So both of them are positive or both of them are negative. It depends on who? On the middle term. The middle term is positive, so both of them are positive. Two numbers, you multiply them is 2, you add. But here we used to subtract. Two numbers, you multiply them is 2, you add them is 3. It's just 2 and 1. Write 2 here, write 1 there. It doesn't matter here. We don't have the big number takes the sign of the middle term. Two numbers, you multiply them is 2 and you add them is 3. 2 and 1, 1 and 2. It doesn't matter where is it. Okay, let us go to the second one. Here are my brackets. X squared, x number. X and x. Look at the absolute term. What's the sign of the absolute term? Positive. That means both of them are positive or both of them are negative. It depends on whom? On the middle term. The middle term is negative, so both of them are negative. Two numbers, you multiply them is 2, you add them is 3. 1 and 2. You can write 1 here, 2 here, 2 here, 1 here. It doesn't matter, okay? Write 1 or 2 as you like here. 1 here, 2 here, 2 here, 1 there, no problem, okay? 1 and 2. Let us go to number 3. Y squared, y number. It's a second degree equation, so here are my brackets. Okay, I will say y and y. First, look at the sign. If the sign is negative, one is positive and the other is negative, the big number takes the sign of the middle term. But if the sign is positive, both of them are positive or both of them are negative, it depends on whom? On the middle term. Right now, the sign is positive, so both of them are positive or both of them are negative. It depends on the middle term. The middle term is positive, so both of them are positive. Two numbers, you multiply them is 15 and you add them is 8. It's 5 and 3 because 1 and 15, 1 by 15 is 15, but 1 plus 15 is 16. It doesn't work 1 and 15. So it's 5 and 3. You could write the 3 here, 5 there, or 5 here, 3 there. No problem. Let us go to number 4. Here are my brackets. Y squared, y, y. You have to look at the absolute term. What's the sign? Positive. That means both of them are positive or both of them are negative. It depends on whom? On the middle term. What's the sign? Negative. So both of them are negative. Okay, we are searching for two numbers. We multiply them is 15. We add, not subtract. We add them is 8. I think it's 5 and 3. 5 here, 3 there, 3 here, 5 there. It doesn't matter where is it. Okay, 3 and 3 and 3 and 5. Okay, 3 and 5. Okay, let us go to the last one. M squared plus 19 m plus 18. M squared, m number. Y squared, y number. This is a second degree equation. So I'll open my brackets. M, m. Okay, first we care about the absolute term. What's the sign here? Positive. So both of them are positive or both of them are negative. Is it positive or negative? It depends on the middle term. Positive, so both of them here are positive. We are searching for two numbers. We multiply them is 18. We add them is 19. 6 by 3 is 18. 6 plus 3 is 9, not 19. Maybe what? 9 by 2? Okay, 9 by 2. 9 by 2 is 18 and 9 plus 2 is 11. It's not 19. I think it's 1 and 18. 1 by 18 is 18 and 1 plus 18 is 19. So 1 and 18. As you like, you can write the 18 first, then 1 or 1 and 18. And this is all about the factorization, and thank you.